Hello and welcome to the Fully Me channel. My name is Giselle. I am a mom of 3, a performing artist of over 18 years, and a creativity coach, where I have the privilege and the honor of being able to encourage other amazing creatives just like yourself to use your gifts, and no matter what season of life you are in, continue using them so that you can live fully. Now, let me just put out here, this is the 3rd or 4th time I done started this video. Everyone who want to come out and do the grass and the lawn today. It's sunny, bugs, all that stuff. And I decided, no, we're gonna get it done. So I am standing here under a tree in the shade for as long as I can get it. And I want to get this video out. Hopefully no bugs will come and attack me. This concept of unbreak your heart has been one that I spoke about years and years ago, but it's been on repeat for me lately. And when you think of unbreak your heart, immediately, for me originally, what would come to mind is Toni Braxton's song, Unbreak Your Heart. Tell me you love me again, undo the hurt you caused when you walked out the door and walked out of my life, right? So that song, I don't know if you're familiar with that song, but that song is just talking about heartbreak and a romantic relationship. And when you think of the word unbreak, essentially you have to break it apart. You have to divide it. And to break is essentially to do that. It's to divide. It's something that was once whole. It is now in pieces, whether it's 2 pieces, 3 pieces, 4 pieces, whatever. It is no longer just one. And when you think of the prefix of un means something kind of going back to the original version before whatever happened. So it's a returning to what was before. To undo something is to return. So you put those 2 parts together. You put un and you put break, and then you have unbreak. And what does unbreak essentially mean? Unbreak means to return back to when you were once whole. So that unbreaking of that heart means to return back to when that heart was whole. It wasn't divided. It wasn't in pieces. It wasn't shattered for whatever reason. Now, when I consider the term of unbreaking your heart, regarding fully me, regarding living fully, regarding being a creative mom, regarding family, I am specifically speaking of who you were and who you have become. Who you were as a creative woman when you knew what you liked, you knew what you were doing, you were going after those things, you were going after those dreams, right? And then who you have become as a mother. Now as a mom, when you have your children, you're figuring out what their communication styles are, you're figuring out what their love language are, you're getting kind of down packed with home life and what that looks like and the different responsibilities that comes with being a mom. There is no blueprint on it. So to say that you have it down packed is no. You are continuously learning, and I have had to accept that. Even as my eldest is now a teenager, I've had to accept I don't really know, because there's so many different seasons where it's still new and each child is different, and there's no freaking blueprint. No matter how many books there are out there, you still are going to have to figure this out for yourself as your own personality, being a mother or a parent, as the personality of your children. And if you have multiple, all of their different personalities and love styles and communication styles and all of that, right? Don't get overwhelmed. It just means that we're all still learning. But you have those 2 parts of yourself, of your heart. Before you become a mom, your heart is it's all about you. But after you become a mom, after you become a wife, after you become a family member, right, you have your own family unit, then your heart begins to divide, because there's other people that get to live inside of there, and it's a beautiful thing. It's a wonderful thing. However, specifically considering your children, and this can go with whatever relationship, whatever important relationship that you have, even with your job or whatever, but specifically today we're talking about your children. When you have children, that part of your heart soars so big, even in the testy points. It still is pretty full, and all of our attention and all of our joy and all of our love and all of our focus goes towards that area. And that area of our heart begins to thrive. It gets to get bigger, right? Just more invested over there. That the part of our heart that was specifically for us as individuals, as women, as creatives, however you identify yourself, it begins to kind of either shrink or become stagnant, because all of our attention, all of our focus is on that mommy part of our heart. And it begins to create a little bit of division. Now there's tension. Okay, so if I want to do something for myself, now there's mommy guilt, or there's shame. I want to take a break. I want to go create, but this house is a mess, right? Or I want to do all of these things with my family, with my friends, my family, my kids, but now I can't say I know who I am anymore. I've lost my identity. I've lost who I see myself as. I lost what I consider to be my worth because I haven't invested that time in it. For me, that's a broken heart. I'm gonna switch hands here. That's a broken heart, because that heart now, what was once whole and inviting other members to be a part of this living, thriving section, important part of your being, now you have tension and contention, right? So what does it look like to unbreak my heart, Giselle? In my opinion, what I have found for myself, what I've seen in others that I've worked with, the unbreaking of your heart is simply honoring who you were before you had children, because that's who you still are in many cases. And then honoring who you have become as a mother, as a wife, as a family member, having your own unit, honoring who you have become. And the way that you can do that is giving time to each. How does this look? Okay, so it works so well with the bringing back the different pieces of your heart, because when you take that time and you're like, all right, I'm an artist of whatever form, I'm a creative of whatever form, I'm doing this, I'm making time, I'm gonna spend some time, I'm a boss woman, I'm doing it, okay, I'm in a marathon, whatever that is that brings you joy and that you identify as an important part of who you are. When you take time to do that, it invigorates you. It gives you energy. It makes you alive, right? You just giddy, you happy, you ready to go. What's next? Because you have all of this energy. So then you take that energy, that focused energy, and then you pour it over into that mommy heart, that mommy part of your heart. Now you have the intentionality, you have the energy to get on the floor with your kids, to roll around with them, to go to the museum, yes, to go to the zoo for the 15th time, to get in that kitchen and make a mess, making random recipes that you all are making up or that your child has found, right, and been asking you for weeks to make with them. Now you have that time to get on the floor and do puzzles, or to just sit and talk and chill. Now you have that time. You have that energy, and that's what it really is, because if we have the focused energy, we can find the time. But it has to be the motivation and the focused energy. But once you've poured into that part of yourself, who you are, it creates the engine for that energy to pour over into that mommy part of your heart. And then you didn't take this time with your family, you're feeling so good. So now you are invigorated and you're ready to go again, right? What? Now you're ready to go. And you use that energy, and that energy pours over into that creative woman part of your heart, that boss woman, that ready to go, right? That brainstormer, that visionary. You are ready to go. You're ready to change the world with your gifts, with your talents. And why are you able to do that? Because you're not carrying around guilt. You're not carrying around shame. You're not carrying around all these second guesses. Man, did I not do enough with my kids today? Did I not do enough? No. And you better believe the more that you continue with this cycle, the more your children and your family will see the difference inside of you, and your children are going to be rooting you on. Yes, mommy, go do it. This is what my mom does. This is what she does. She does this. She does that, right? They want to be with you, and you can invite them into that part of yourself, of who you are. You are a mom, but you're not just a mom. You are a wife, but you're not just a wife, right? Fill in the blank. You are that, but you're not just that. And so you have to honor who you are. And if you've forgotten who you are and you've lost that part of your identity, one, it's time to get it back. Two, you cannot do it by yourself. You can do it through books. You can do it through therapy. You can do it through coaching. And that's one of the areas that I specifically work with women and moms on. It's an area that I've had to grow through, and I'm still getting higher and higher. There's different levels for me. But this is also an area that I provide support. You can't do it by yourself. But once you get that support, you get that help, and you're feeling good, it's going to start that engine again, all over again. And it becomes this beautiful circle. And that heart that was divided, that was competing with one another, it becomes tight, it becomes whole, it becomes this amazing machine of love, of honor, of value, of recognizing, of respect, right? The mommy part of yourself, of your heart, needs to respect the woman part of your heart, who you are. And that woman part of your heart, that creative, that boss woman, however you identify, has to respect the mommy part of your heart, because that's whole. That's the whole heart. And when you are aligned like that, forget about it. Forget about it. So today I invite you, take the steps to unbreak your heart. Unbreak your heart. Accomplishing those goals, following your dream, does not mean deny your family. Loving your family, serving your family does not mean deny who you were created to be and what you were put on this earth to do. They both work in harmony. And some seasons you have a little bit more of the other and vice versa, but they both work hand in hand. Unbreak your heart today. I encourage you with that. If you found this video to be helpful, share it, even with one person. Like, subscribe, hit the notification, y'all know the deal. But remember today, unbreak your heart. Make time for both parts of your heart. Honor who you are and live fully. Bye.